Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Geeks and a Microphone. But wait a minute. I think we have four with us today. And today we are going to delve into the world of comics and pop culture.
Today we have a treat for all you comic book enthusiasts out there. We have my friend Theron Too Cool Lowry with us, and our friend Brian from the Three Geeky Dads joining us for this epic battle.
All right, so buckle up, everybody. This promises to be a good one because this is going to be called the Robo-Rumble. Yep. We are taking two incredible characters. We're taking Cyborg versus Iron Man, and only one will come out on top. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most illustrious, the most comic booky dude that I know, Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom land. Although I'm not the only comic book fan here today, we've got Mr. Brian Ramsey of the Three Geeky Dads, and we got Theron Too Cool Lowry. Hello. Good morning, both of you gentlemen.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Morning.
As many of you know, Theron has been, I don't want to say a regular on the show, but you've joined us for several podcasts. Always knowledgeable, always having to rein him in sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. And then one of our favorite fellow podcasters, Mr. Brian Ramsey from the Three Geeky Dads and Tito. Which we've done crossovers on. I encourage everybody to take a listen to those, and please listen to their podcast. If you just want to have some good belly laughs while you're listening to a podcast, please listen to the Three Geeky Dads. Now, I cannot say that it is kid friendly.
No, we're not.
But it is a hoot. So anyway, hey, thanks you guys for being with us. It's great to have you here, and I'm looking forward to the discussions. Even with Theron before the show, we started talking, and I was like, "Oh, wait, save it for the podcast."
Right. Yeah, I noticed I haven't started talking yet. I kind of I'm letting you get it all out first before I start going, because I go when I go.
Well, Darren and I were talking at work the other day, because Darren and I both work together. Well, when he decides to come in the office, that is, because he's doing a lot of at home. He's doing a lot of the remote working. Anyway, we ran into each other and we were kind of discussing the topic for a moment, and I went, "Whoa! Save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast." So here we are.
Wait, Mike. I think it started off from a comment in the comment section. It started snowballing, and that's typically how a lot of our ideas start to kind of spin off and everything. It was like, hey, what do you think about this? And I'm just like, let me give it a second, and then I'll come back and I'll hit you with like, hey, this would be a good idea. Hey, this is my take on it. And then we started to go a little bit further down the rabbit hole. And then I believe that Brian, we were talking about, was going a little bit. I was going off of a comment that he had mentioned, and then that's when we was like, oh, let's do an episode on this. This is literally how we always start.
Yep. All right. Well, let's jump into some geeky news real quick.
Right on.
All right. So today's geeky news, it's going to be very bat-centric. The first item on my list is we actually have a release date for Batman 2, which, by the way, they're also saying that's officially going to be the next title. I don't know if I like that. The Batman 2. It's like, really? Come on, can we get like a secondary title to that, or hopefully something else will be added? But according to Small Screen, they are saying that The Batman 2 will be released on October 3rd, 2025. And they're also reporting that Joker, okay, you got to help me with the title, Stephen. However the heck you say that.
Let me take a look. I gotta read it to see it. Joker 2 title. Folie à deux.
Filet deux. Yeah, that.
That's
They're
French.
saying that. Yeah, exactly. It's French, and I'm not French. The most I know of French is oui, oui.
Oui, oui. C'est la merde. That means it's
Right.
shit.
What was that?
C'est la merde. It means it is shit.
At least I'm not the one who had to put the E on this episode.
Right.
Well,
Who was
it's going to be
Steven?
Steven that's going to do that. Let me
Steven
make a note.
shocked me.
Sorry, everybody. Whoops.
Anyway, they're reporting that the Joker 2 is going to be released on October 3rd, 2025. So we do have official release dates. Now, the big news. This started blowing up yesterday, and I was like, okay, we got to talk about this. So they are now claiming that there is going to be another Batman introduced in the upcoming Flash movie. So we already know that Michael Keaton is starring in the film. And he was supposed to go on as the new Batman of the new DCU. But when James Gunn took over, he kind of axed that whole idea. And that's gone now. Then there was rumor that Ben Affleck was returning. Now, I think Ben Affleck is still going to be in the film. But the rumor is at the end of the film, I'm guessing probably in a post-credit scene, we are going to see yet another Batman. And this is going to be a returning Batman, someone that we have seen previously in the Batman cape and cowl. Yeah. So, they are reporting that, I don't have her name. Grace Randolph. Supposedly she spilled the beans on the Amanda Waller series. Okay, so apparently I don't know who Grace Randolph is.
She's a YouTuber. She does reviews and all kinds of stuff. You can trust some of her stuff. I mean, she does have contacts. There's no doubt about it. Some of her stuff, I think she got busted once because someone released some information that was false and she took it.
Okay.
And I think it was some trickery on the part of a studio or something to see who's making leaks, kind of a thing. And so she got some hot water for that. That was several years ago. But yeah, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, even Emergency Awesome is posting is reporting about this. So I'm taking this as it's probably true. Anyway, she posted pictures of 3 different previous Batmans. One being Val Kilmer. We all know Val Kilmer cannot return as Batman. Right.
Unfortunately, no.
Right. Exactly. He had the tracheotomy and he can't speak, so he's not returning. There's no way. 2, George Clooney. Who in their right mind thinks George Clooney is coming back and James Gunn's is allowing him to come back? There's no possible way.
Knowing James Gunn, though, that would be a thing that he would do.
Oh, God, I hope not. However, the last one, Christian Bale from The Dark Knight.
That's what I was thinking.
Returning as the Batman of the new DCU. So that's my big news. And apparently this is running rampant over YouTube as of last night. So I think it's a good possibility. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
I'm taking it with a big grain of salt.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too early to call it.
Now, okay. Christian Bale has said in the past he wouldn't return to the Batman unless...
and I don't know if I'd want him to.
Really?
His voice bothers me, man. I'd rather have Val Kilmer, who's doing it naturally.
Val?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'll admit I didn't like his voice. You're right. In fact, I've said many times, I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I think it's a great trilogy, especially The Dark Knight. That's one of my top Batman movies.
Yes.
But I would have loved to have them redub that with Kevin Conroy as Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Oh, they should dub anyone that plays Batman. They should be dubbing with Kevin Conroy.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. And they just need to do that now. You know, I mean,
they've got how many episodes of the animated series plus all the movies that he's done? I mean,
in the video
they
games.
could totally deep fake his voice into anybody.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Agreed. So that's what they should just do moving forward. No matter who they get to put in the cape and cowl, just voice it with Kevin Conroy.
Yep.
He'd just be the last voice of Batman forever. I'm all for that. I'll take that. So anyway, that's my geeky news.
I mean, they could introduce Tracy McGinnis Batman in there too.
Tracy McGinnis.
You mean Terry?
Oh,
Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
Beyond. Oh, I so want a Batman Beyond series. Yeah. Hopefully that is in our future.
I hope it is with Michael Keaton.
As a grizzled old Bruce Wayne.
That's what I want. But
so this is going to be in the Flashpoint movie, right? Live action Flashpoint movie. So he's going to be going into. Okay, I mean, I can see.
They're not calling it Flashpoint though, but they're using it. Yeah, they're using it as the Flashpoint story. Well, roughly the Flashpoint storyline is what they're doing
as a multiverse timeline blow up.
As a multiverse. So, all right. Well, I mean, right there, they're going to have to introduce a new. He said it's going to be returning. Batman.
The rumor is that it is a Batman who is. As an actor who's played Batman in the past. That's the rumor. That's
probably going to be the one that plays Thomas Wayne in that situation.
I don't know if they're doing Flashpoint per se.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually doing Flashpoint. It's not going to take on the full Flashpoint storyline. I wished it would. I love that storyline.
Okay.
I think they're taking elements of the Flashpoint storyline so that they can reboot the DCU. That's what I think they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
Wrong character, wrong franchise.
Great harmonies, boys.
I don't know about that. All right, let's move on to some.
All right.
Well, you don't need that, Private. We're right here. Now, what is it? Now, what is it? I'm having trouble with the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. That's not all he's lost.
And some would say the same about us. Okay, I have one thing for Geekdar today.
Okay.
You all know that I like to collect action figures from time to time, and McFarlane Toys last year started redoing the Superpower line from DC, and I had been waiting for a particular action figure because I kept hearing it's coming. Well, this past Monday it finally showed up at my Walmart, and I went, mine.
Okay.
And
which one?
In all his orange and blue glory.
Nice.
I love it.
Yes.
Tell everybody what we're looking at.
We are looking at Deathstroke the Terminator in the Superpowers carded look, because I don't think in the original line of Superpowers action figures there actually was a Deathstroke.
I don't think there was either. So
he's added a couple
classic colors and stuff though.
Oh yeah, it is the blue and orange.
Yeah,
and it's even got the scales on it. And
I'm seeing red and black. I don't know. Maybe it's just my eyes.
It's the tint of your TV screen.
The dress is white and gold. The dress is
white and gold or blue and black. White and gold,
white
and black.
We have one of those moments.
That's awesome.
Something's wrong with his eye. He should have two of them. Why do you just have the one?
Yeah, man, you got Jim.
Got one eye. He's kind of like.
I hope you didn't pay full price for that.
Well, they had added a couple extra figures to the line.
Okay.
Like for instance, they added the Batman Who Laughs, which I keep saying I'm going to get, and I still haven't bought it yet.
Oh.
And Nightwing's coming too, so I'll probably buy the Nightwing when that one comes.
Nice.
Steven, have you you got into the Batman Who Laughs comic?
I've read it.
I have not read it. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right.
It's
Okay.
against
Yeah,
my
Mike, me and you
religion.
gonna have to talk
I
about it a
can't do
little bit more.
anything with Batman anymore. It's against my religion.
Whoa.
Say what?
I'm teasing.
Whoa.
No, I haven't, but I do want to read it. It looks really good. It looks really interesting.
Yeah, that is a
Yes.
It is a story, man. I'm telling you, it takes you on all types of like ups and
nice.
a roller coaster ride. It's really good, ups and downs and everything. So it's
Very
really
nice. Very nice.
Pull that out of my goodies down here.
Yeah. Well, anything else, Mike, on your
That's all I have for Geek Jar.
Cool. Okay, real quick, everybody, before I forget, because I've been really bad in forgetting.
It's because Steven's getting old.
I am getting old. Hey, we sponsorship. It's so great, man. We got affiliate sponsorships. It's awesome. I want to encourage you guys to check out audibletrial.com/2geeks. Here, I'm going to share my screen. And this way, if you go to the website, this is what it looks like. It totally looks like you're going to Audible, and where you can get audiobooks. You can get, if you go through our link, you can try Audible Premium Plus for free 90 free for 30 days. What you get is you get 1 credit, or if you're already a Prime membership, this is kind of cool. You get 2 credits for that per month. Good for any premium selection title you like, yours to keep. So we're not talking like, oh, just some 20-year-old audiobook kind of a thing. Nope, brand new ones that you can get a hold of. Plus you get access to the Audible Plus catalog, which has a whole bunch of audiobooks that don't cost any quote unquote credits. That's all part of the membership. You'll get a reminder before your trial ends if you want to continue, if you want to sign up or not. But I love audiobooks, and one of my favorites so far has been to listen to the Ian Desher Shakespeare Star Wars series. Has just been fabulous, and I've loved it and I've enjoyed it. So you get to pick out any one book of your own. There's romance, there's thrillers, there's action, there's sci-fi, all kinds of great ones. But I just want to encourage you guys to check that out when you do, and if you sign up, you do help the show, help us pay for all the wonderful little tidbits that it costs to do a podcast. And Mike's, how shall I say?
Figure habit.
That is exactly it.
Yeah, my wife would appreciate that.
Actually, we'll write those all off as business expenses. No, I'm just kidding.
Sweet, I gotta buy more. I didn't know we can do that.
It's research. It's research.
It's research.
Yeah.
I love it.
Research the podcast. After all, it's part of the segment, you know.
That is true. That is true. Maybe we could get away with that. Oh, wait, I can't say that on the air. Never mind.
The IRS is listening.
Yeah, I'll be knocking on your door in about an hour.
Right?
Yeah.
That was a joke.
What was that, Megan?
I said for legal reasons, that was a joke.
Right. That was a good one, Megan.
Well,
The comments of Stephen Boster do not necessarily reflect those of the 2 geeks in a microphone.
You gotta say allegedly. Allegedly, that gets you out of pretty much anything.
Brian, I might have to clip that. That was great.
Oh, God.
All right.
That's pretty funny. All right. Are we ready for the main event?
I believe we're ready.
Okay, let's do this. It's time for the main event. Dun dun dun! Robo-Rumble. Royal Robo-Rumble. I better get that Robo in there because I don't want to get copyrighted and banned in 72 countries.
Yeah, I was thinking we could do that, but yeah, I was like, oh crap. I've heard too many stories that he hunts people down who use that in their shows and sues them, and we don't have any money, so
Right.
We can't afford that.
We're not technically really monetized unless someone buys an Audible trial, and then even then it may be a penny or two. So hey, you know, you got to prove we damaged your brand.
Well, you know,
it is us talking.
they could go onto our website and go to our merch page and buy some merch, or they could also support us on Ko-fi. Just saying.
That's right. That's right.
So-
by golly.
That's a few ways that we can be supported. All right, so we're gonna kick this off. We're doing Iron Man versus Cyborg, or Cyborg versus Iron Man, whichever you prefer. And I figured I'd start it off just by checking out the Marvel Encyclopedia and the DC Encyclopedia. We'll start off with Iron Man. His real name is Anthony Stark. His occupation is businessman, philanthropist, hero, and leader of the Avengers. His base of operations is Stark Tower, also known as the Avengers Tower, which is located in Manhattan, New York. His height is 6'1". He weighs 225 pounds. I'm assuming that's 225 without the suit, because I would assume the suit weighs more.
Yeah, the suit is definitely
Agreed.
A little bit.
It has to be. His eyes are blue. His hair is black. His first appearance is Tales of Suspense, number 39, March of 1963. And powers. I can't pronounce that
None.
word. What'd you say?
none.
Yeah,
None?
none without the suit.
Powers. Tony
Well,
Stark doesn't have none. No
Oh,
powers.
he's rich.
Good. He's rich.
Rich is
He's
the
like
power.
Batman.
Rich
He's like
can
Batman.
lead to having power. There you go. Rich, actually, no. Rich is power.
What's your superpower? I'm rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Standard Iron Man armor provides superhuman strength and durability, jet boots, power flight. He has repulsor beams in his gauntlets, chest-mounted unibeam. Armor's underlay is now incorporated into Stark's body, letting him control Iron Man remotely. Which, by the way, that was just wrong of him in the movie when he did that thing where he sent the suit to talk to Pepper. That was just wrong.
Oh, you're talking about their Valentine's? Well, their
Yeah.
type.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He did the same thing too in Spider-Man when he sent the suit to go talk to Spider-Man before, and then the second time he actually showed up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a remote suit.
So sometimes Tony's just a jerk.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a joke.
Right.
Moving along,
We call
his
that down to
allies.
earth.
What was that?
We call that down to earth. Go ahead.
His allies are the Avengers, James Rhodes, who's War Machine,
Rhodey.
Shield, Rhodey, okay, Shield, Virginia Potts, yeah, is it
That's
Virginia?
Pepper. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, Pepper.
Bethany Cabe and Edwin Jarvis. His foes are Obadiah Stane,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Hammer, Madam Mask. Is it Mask or
Yeah, mask. Because she wears an iron mask.
okay?
Yep.
Titanium Man. I don't know who Titanium Man is.
He's like, no, I was gonna say the Crimson Dynamo is the Russian Iron Man. The Titanium Man, I forget where he came from, but yeah, he's been one of his foes for a long time.
Okay. And Spy Master and the Mandarin, which the Mandarin we saw in the movies.
Mhm.
Mandarin is one of the big ones. They don't.
Yeah.
They didn't portray him very well.
No.
In the movies, right?
I don't think they can get away with that in this day and age.
Yeah.
The Mandarin is supposed to look like James Hong did in the Kurt Russell movie Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
That's exactly
That's
what the
one of my
Mandarin looks
favorite
like in the
movies,
comics,
that's
and
right.
they can't get away with that these days.
Oh, that would probably be like in Doctor Who. Tom Baker.
Yeah, the Talons of Wen Chang.
Yeah, Talons of Wayne Chang. Yeah,
Mhm.
yep, exactly.
You said they can't do that style in movies anymore.
I think it's a racist stereotype, so I don't think
Yeah.
they could get away with it. I mean, they could do it, but not that many people would be happy with it.
It's frowned upon. Let's just put it that way.
You just get it.
Okay, so moving on to Cyborg. Cyborg's debut was DC Comics Volume 1, number 26, October of 1980, which I believe I used to have that issue, by the way. His base of operations would be Detroit. His real name is Victor Stone. His height is 6'5". He weighs 385 pounds. Now that is with the suit because the
He's
suit
all
is right. It's part of him.
Mhm.
His eyes are brown. His hair is black. powers and abilities. Genius level IQ. Implants him massively enhanced strength, armored chassis, and promethium impregnated flesh. Wow. Provides superhuman damage resistance sensors and onboard processors, intercept signals, and hack systems remotely. Can create boom tubes for transport, can fly using boot jets. Arms can reconfigure into energy or projectile weapons. His allies are Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, The Flash, Wonder Woman. I said they listed Green Lantern twice. Oh, Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz. Sorry, Azrael. I didn't know that. Wow. Starfire. Enemies are Darkseid, Crime Syndicate, Grid, Malware, Anomaly, and affiliations is Justice League and Justice League Odyssey, and they don't list it, but I would say the Teen Titans too, or the Titans. So that is the breakdown of the two different characters. So I think we should talk powers and abilities first a little bit. Iron Man, we know. I always joke that if you cut Iron Man out of that tin suit, Tony's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my joke, because that's what I use with Theron when we had the Batman versus Iron Man discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Take him out of the suit. He's vulnerable.
Right. He's vulnerable, and so if you could get him out of the suit, I think he's beatable.
Well, yeah.
Where
also very resourceful, though. He's a genius in his own right.
Right, that's
and
true.
They portray him that way in Iron Man 3. In Iron Man 3, he's almost out of the suit entirely.
Yeah.
And he's got to come up with ways to take down what's his name there? I forget his name. Guy Pearce's character. He's got to take down him and all his cronies.
But that's only because Robert Downey Jr. just didn't want to be in the suit so much.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's still true.
True. Very true.
I'm sure there have been many comics where he's been without his suit and still held his own.
Oh yeah, in Civil War there was like that too. Well, going to MCU, remember he went up against Bucky, and Bucky he shot him in the face point blank, and it ricocheted off his glasses. So he does have nanotech that actually do protect him over time. When he's not directly in the suit, the suit becomes more technologically advanced over time, so he can compensate when he's so he can be in his regular outerwear gear. But for the most part, he does have the arm braces. Like his watch was able to turn into a repulsor gauntlet at the time and everything in that nature. He can activate his suit or have his suit come to him anytime he wants. That's over time, but you only get that to really the second is it the second movie or the third movie? But in the comics, it was a slow progression from the build up to do that.
Yeah, because in the comics he had the whole Extremis thing where the suit was actually inside his bones at one point, and it would come out. So the suit actually was inside of him. Yeah, eventually, it was a slow evolution to that point, but yes, it did happen.
So in a sense,
he is the technology. They did eventually become one.
He becomes the technology. Now,
he becomes the technology.
Cyborg is the technology.
This is true. This is true.
Now we're talking about the abilities, right? We're talking about the actual the actual capabilities of the suit versus the technology, and that's where the conversation. That's where really they kind of split off, because Cyborg,
wait. Before we get into that, let's slow down a second.
Okay, I'm about to go. I'm revving. Steven's just laying on thick there.
Well, I think we'll leave that a little closer to the end, because I think that's going to lead into our epic battle right there. But we should probably talk about weapons and such, because Cyborg's weapons are all just a part of him. They are a piece of Cyborg. Like he just thinks, and his arms can actually turn into sonic, the whatever. I don't know.
The cannons.
Sonic cannons and stuff like that. But now Tony has an amazing arsenal that is just attached to the freaking Iron Man suit. So I don't know. In some ways, I think Tony outguns Vic. I think his weaponry is actually more powerful than Vic's. Now, Vic Cyborg, he has an advantage. He has one single advantage though, and that's the boom tubes. Because I mean, technically, Vic could open up a boom tube and send Tony
through another portal.
Yeah. Well, he can send him straight to the center of the sun, and Tony's dead. Period. Done. Fight over. Now,
you don't even have to go that far. Just in outer space.
Well, yeah.
Or underwater.
Well, if Tony's got the suit on, he can withstand.
For a certain amount of time. Yeah, it depends on how deep he is too.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is the one advantage that I think Cyborg has over Tony. Tony doesn't have any kind of tech that could rival Cyborg's boom tubes. So,
well, I mean, not necessarily, because I would say that if anything, Cyborg can actually create weaponry at a. If you want to look at the one from the movie, he can create his own weapons as he go along. He has an endless supply. Tony has a finite amount of arsenal that's built into the suit itself. He can only go so far with his shoulder cannons. He can only use so much power that's drawn from the arc reactor, and he can only and it withstands so much. He can't do his unibeam as often as you think he can. Yeah, his repulsor blast, but really what's giving him the amount of leverage in that particular fight, if they were going to head and stuff like that, I really do believe Cyborg will actually outlast him as long as that. Because when's the last time? Well, I mean, not when's the last time, but how often? If Tony takes one strong hit against a sonic cannon, that's really going to disrupt the whole system, and that's going to basically fry everything. And you don't even have to do that. He can just send an EMP pulse and then shut down the whole system itself. So when it comes down to
the same
Cyborg's able to,
it could go the other way too.
Yeah,
because
that can go the other way for Iron Man.
Iron Man, launching an EMP against Cyborg, he's total technology where Tony's not. So if Cyborg launches an EMP against Tony, I think there's got to be a manual way for him to get out of that suit. Even if he's got a can opener in his hip, he can get himself out of there.
Yeah.
And then he's not going to be affected by the EMP. Whereas if it happened to Cyborg, he's totally done.
That's true. That's true.
So and it's one Cyborg, and then it's multiple Iron Mans, and he can call them. Okay, Mike, I can see where you're coming from when it comes down to the amount of weaponry that Iron Man, because he doesn't necessarily have to fight alone. I mean, if they were going to do a serious head-to-head, but if it was something to where he is being overpowered in a sense, he has additional armament that can come to his aid to help him go at said individuals. And if it was Cyborg can only take on maybe one or two at a time. It has to give him enough time to compensate. But yeah, I get that point. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna let that one slide.
And in my research this week, I didn't realize this until this past week. Tony actually has EMPs also. Both Cyborg and Tony, they both have have access to EMPs. Okay. So they both have that technology that they could wipe out the other's technology.
But technically, would an EMP blast take out both of them?
It'll shut them down.
I think it would, yeah.
You would think.
But there's a comic, Steven.
Right.
They'll probably shoot both. If anything, worst case scenario, they'll probably shoot both of theirs off. But really, I'll say the one that probably will to probably jump out from that suit and then get another suit or have another suit come to its aid is Iron Man. Because if he's knocked out that suit, he can just canopy, and it unlocks the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or if he's trapped inside of it. I mean, that's the only bad part about it is if he's trapped inside of his suit. I mean, game over. That's literally what happened in the zombie Iron Man. I'm sorry, in the What If storyline. He got trapped inside the suit itself, so he couldn't get out of the suit. But we're talking about if he has the more technologically advanced suit, his more what is it? You said it earlier. The suits where they are more remote. Yeah.
The
nano suits and everything. If he was his Gen 1, the one that's Brian right about now, he won't make it long in that suit. He won't make it long in the first Iron Man suit. It has to be like the Mark, what's that, 4 or 5 or something like that. Definitely the more advanced ones. other than that, he's definitely going to be in a disadvantage if they were.
I figured we were up at Mark 67 by now.
Yeah,
Mark 67.
Yep. And
But
that's where Tony's cool, because he's constantly learning from his mistakes and from past battles, and he's always adapting that to the next generation of suit. Yeah. Like, oh, this guy took me out with this. Well, my next version will make sure that never happens, you know. And the suit is constantly evolving, like Cyborg does. You know, he's constantly improving his own suit.
Exactly.
Although Cyborg doesn't really have to improve his.
No, I know, but
it just naturally does it because it's all a part of him.
Right, but it's still him.
Right.
You know?
It's still he still have the brain. The bits that really matters, the part that makes, was it they said in the movie, the human part, that's what gives him, because he's already smart. It was that Cyborg, he has an intelligence level, IQ level of like 170, so he's really smart off the cuff, just like Tony's naturally smart. He's genius level. He's like one of the top 5 in the MCU when it comes to intelligence. So
let me ask you guys this then. So with their suit in that regards, wouldn't Cyborg, because he adapt faster or be able to adapt to whatever he loses to and realizes he has to adapt, would be able to do that much more quicker than Iron Man, because Iron Man would have to develop it and then implement it, you know, and test it and that kind of thing. But would it be that for Cyborg, he is able to adapt it on the fly?
Technically, Jarvis is learning it for him. So every time Jarvis is really recording everything and kind of, you know, compensating that. They never really talk about that. Jarvis is actually what's really giving all the feedback and learning all the battles that Iron Man go through. That's how he's able to make more advanced suits.
I'm not saying about learning what their issues are, but the implementation of a new suit would happen much more quicker with Cyborg than Iron Man.
That is true.
Yeah.
Weaponry-wise,
Iron Man has to go back to the lab and fabricate something. Whereas
but is that true?
It becomes organically.
Is that still true with the nano suit though?
Well, that's okay. So that's way further down the line. It's still a suit. It's still he still developed the nano suit to where it has the. It can be able to do the projectile, the vibranium the shield. It's one of his shields. One of the biggest things that, you know, we've seen in the movies itself, where it was more the liquid metal, and then it became more of the energy repulsing type ordeal. Right. So that's a part of the process of, you know, trying to compensate the losses or the damage that he suffered over time. You know, how quick.
I don't know. I don't know. I still think we're going back to where Brian said, no matter what I say, it's going to be, hey, these are the comics.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I mean,
well, let's go to the comics then. The comics, Cyborg is more is right off the jump. Once he goes to his accident, he is already technologically advanced because his father ended up starting to convert him to a cyborg. Okay. Right, you know, and he already he's not connected to like the web. This is the 80s I'm talking about. So he's just more cybernetic than he is when he first get introduced to the suit or his cyborg abilities over. And Tony had to develop that just so he can get out of a worst case scenario. But, you know, when it comes down to in the comics, you know, who really started off at an advantage? I'll say really Cyborg did, because he had to evolve over that time period.
I see your point. So therefore, Cyborg started really his adaptation. Much of his is adaptation on the fly as he's learning about that. You know, just, but for Stark, it is very much I learn as I hit a problem, and I have to fix it.
It's situational.
It's very much like the Batman.
Yeah,
you know,
like all of us. Exactly. Yeah. You learn from your mistakes, and you learn from your adversities. And,
if you ask my wife, she says I don't learn from my mistakes.
No.
You just double down. It didn't work. I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna hit it eventually. I would say that's if you want to go with the common origin. If you want to go with the, they kind of did a rough depiction of that in the movie origins of it. You know, Iron Man, he kind of came off very, very slow in the first two movies, but in the first movie, the Jack Snyder cut, I mean, yeah, he was still growing into his abilities, but Cyborg was able to do a lot more. You know, he adapted, just like how Steven said. He adapted to using the boosters on his feet. You know, he adapted to using how to become more susceptible to connecting with the web and learning about his foes or his the heroes and the foes before he was ever introduced. That was a little bit the direction that they went with the movies, but I feel as though Cyborg never really utilized his full potential, just like how unlike how Iron Man was able to. Once he used his full potential, that's it, that's all he got, and then he just like, all right, well, that wasn't enough. All right, let me go back and like fix, try to revamp this whole thing so I can become way better, so I can have more stuff to throw at it. Because what really freaked him out in the movies rather was Thanos. He realized he was up a mountain. He's not going to be able to go up against that after the first Avenger movie. So he had to really start to up his game with tech. He was trying to do that part and trying to make it.
So let me take a couple of steps back, because you guys were talking about weapons and stuff like that, and my brain was processing. It takes me a little bit to remember and speak up. Sorry. So the Iron Man then you guys were talking about, oh, he's got all these cool weapons and stuff like that. But in my brain, wouldn't at some point you would run out of those weapons? Like, I've depleted
that's what Darren was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has a limited amount. He can only fire so much, where Cyborg's more unlimited. Everything's pretty much through his brain and through his technology, and created, like the sonic blast. He doesn't run out of sonic blasts.
Right.
That's unlimited.
Okay.
Not finite.
And then it's really hard to really, get Cyborg to down Cyborg, unless you're like Darkseid or something like that nature, where you can literally take over. You have more alien tech that's able to take over his brain. That's really the only time you see Cyborg really suffering a lot of damage. Really, is when it goes that even when Batman first meet him, he injected a virus in him, and Batman and Cyborg didn't even realize it at the time. But just think about how long it took for Batman to try to override his system. Just right off the bat.
Cyborg was the beginning of Deceased. It all originated with Cyborg. He infected the entire race. He infected the entire human race through technology. Is what he did.
It's nanotechnology. So he's already, he already has nanotechnology. You think about how long it took.
It wasn't nanotechnology. It was like, it was a computer virus, and it sent out a signal basically, and anyone who watched any kind of device. So like, we're watching a computer screen right now, we would catch the virus.
Any broadcast signal,
Then the virus could also be transmitted through physical contact too, such as a normal zombie. And it all originated with Cyborg.
Yep.
That's where it all started. He destroyed the entire human race.
Yeah, and that's where we are.
Are we saying he's that much more powerful, or?
I think he's much more evil,
He wasn't actually him. It was Darkseid that
did antimatter, anti-life.
Darkseid and antimatter. They basically kidnapped Cyborg.
So are we keeping a scorecard here? Because I'm starting to get behind on who we're saying is, this is versus kind of a thing. So
sure. And
the boom cannon, really, I mean, you gotta think about it. It's boom tube cannon. It don't just necessarily send out a energy blast. I mean, it can send out a sound wave, at a frequency that can pretty much shake the iron suit off of Tony, or pretty much, cripple him inside of it. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, that's one of the biggest weapons right there. If it can bring, I'm pretty sure it can bring, if he was to be point blank range in front of Iron Man, and he just, arm out, and then he do the sound cannon type ordeal, that's gonna boom right there, blow eardrums.
So Theron, you're saying that Cyborg is much more better than Iron Man
in this instance? Yeah. If it goes down to a head-to-head count, I would really put my money on Cyborg. I'm gonna give this one to the DCU when it comes down to weaponry. When it comes, I'm not gonna say intelligence. We're gonna, like you said, we're gonna say that for later. But I'm gonna say when it comes to weaponry, I think that Cyborg is he reigns supreme in that one. And Brian, you can take it away.
Yeah, Brian, Mr. Iron Brian Ramsey. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think after listening to Theron's argument, I'm going to have to go with you. I think you might have the advantage over Tony with this one.
Yep.
What?
We're going with comic. We talked about the comic. We talked about like what the DCU and the MCU have really brought to the table and how their progression started out, and if they were to meet head to head, which one would,
I don't know. C'est la merde. I'm telling you that I think Iron Man, here's the thing. If Iron Man is much more smarter than Cyborg, I think he's got other Iron Man suits. We've seen that. He's got all these different suits and stuff. Would he not, or does he not normally have some type of contingency plan?
Tony's always got something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
He's a lot like Batman in that aspect.
Yeah. He has contingency. Okay, that was the thing about it. All right, so I mean, like I said, and I don't know if it was a lot thing, he got no contingency plan on that one.
I don't think Cyborg thinks that way. I don't
think Cyborg thinks that way. I think Cyborg's in the moment. I think he's all about adaptation in the moment.
Yeah.
Where I think Iron Man,
Tony's more planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. His gears is always going when it comes down to trying to figure out how to best what he already developed. And that's pretty much the reason why we have so many iterations of the Mark suit is because he realized that the threat is always ongoing.
So therefore, I bet he's got an anti-boom tube suit.
He might eventually.
Probably, yeah. No, that would be a situation.
If he experiences the boom tube and what it can do, he's going to probably come up with something to counter it.
Yeah, Hulkbuster.
That will shield himself from being actually sucked into a boom tube. I don't know what it would be.
Either the extremist.
I'm not familiar with the boom tube.
I mean, that's something else to look at. That's something else to look at. What villain, or well, not just villains, but what other characters have they went up against? Cyborg has went toe to toe with Superman. He has not defeated Superman, but he has went toe to toe, and that says a lot if you can go toe to toe with Superman. So he's been toe to toe with Superman. He's went up against Darkseid. Again,
Darkseid actually whipped him. He tried to go up against Darkseid,
right, but he did go up against him.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are two biggies in
Doomsday.
They're probably the two biggest in the DC universe, right there. Probably the most powerful in the DCU. Where Tony has went up against the Incredible Hulk. He's went face to face with Thor. He's went up against Thor. Thanos. He defeated Thanos. So
by himself.
Right. So when you look at what Tony's went up against versus what Cyborg's went up against, it's actually no competition.
Yeah, I've got an article here by Comic Book Resources, and it's actually Cyborg versus Iron Man. They've got 10 different points.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
And the part about enemy power level, they give the advantage to Iron Man. And this is the 4th category that they've got out of 10.
Okay.
And it says, however, Iron Man alone has still gone against far more powerful villains than Cyborg has by himself, making him the clear winner in this regard. Although, excuse me, my glasses are fogging up for some reason. Although Cyborg still has the potential to surpass Tony in this way, Iron Man is still the victor in this round. So they're saying that Cyborg could still eventually, go up against more powerful villains and win himself. Yeah, but so far he hasn't.
That's true because he's been a part of a team. He's been the Justice League. He's been a part of the Teen Titans. He's always been a part of someone Doom to kind of counter Doom Patrol. So he has always been a part of a team that kind of like Doom
Patrol doesn't count. He wasn't really in Doom Patrol,
but he is. He is.
Unlike how
and he's good in it too.
like really on his game as far
Patrol.
as counteracting. He realized that I need to work with folks in order for him to be able to go up against a lot of these threats. And that's the reason why he didn't want to pair himself up with like SHIELD or, give his tech to the government or do anything of the sort. He wanted to try to figure it out on his own, which in that regards didn't make him a very successful person trying to become more adaptable as far as trying to go up against these threats and everything in that nature. He realized he needed allies in order to defeat these foes. He's not going to do it by himself. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I'm curious more about that article, Brian. What other things do they talk about?
So they've got running them down. Let me go back to the top, Steven. Hold on. It starts with main internal power. They've got advantage Cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Main external power. They've got advantage Cyborg. Under experience, they've got Iron Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under allies, they've got Cyborg.
Yep.
Okay.
Under intelligence, they've got Iron Man. Under durability, it's a tie.
Okay, I'll say that's probably.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Durability?
Enemy power level, Iron Man, which is what we just discussed about the foes that he's gone up against.
Yeah.
Tech, under tech, they've got Cyborg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leadership, which is what Theron was talking about, they've got it as a tie.
Oh,
Really?
And ultimately, they've got the winner is Cyborg.
I would say,
Wow.
really in that situation,
I am shocked. Okay.
Tony's the leader, so he's not going to be the leader, but he's going to force his will onto people therefore they can try to follow. See what happened in Civil War. Not everyone's going to follow his lead when it comes down to having a planetary guard system. That's just not going to happen. I mean, really, the only part that really makes Cyborg kind of the Boy Scout in that situation is because he's on the side with Superman.
Yeah.
Superman pretty much he has other superheroes that's going to be able to that can take him on if he gets out of line.
Well, yeah, but I see what you're saying, but we're talking just mano a mano, Cyborg versus Iron Man. It's not. This is not a fair fight to bring Superman in because Superman.
I'm not bringing Superman. I know, I get that part, but I'm saying like if I know I don't want to bring Superman in as like he's like a contender or anything, but I'm just saying like when it comes down to having threats and everything in that nature, there's more people on the DCU side that can help Cyborg, and that's the reason why he hasn't really had that many foes or anything in that nature. Unlike Tony, he has a lot of foes which give him that experience, or he has more
Tony's got the Avengers. Tony's got the Avengers, so
you know how hard it is for him to wrangle the Avengers.
I know they're all over the place.
They are really all over the place.
Yeah, like the Justice League's not. I mean, come on.
No, I'll say the Justice League. They have more of a tight knit group. They understand, like, hey, they have bigger problems. Galactic bigger problems to worry about. Unlike Tony, he's just worrying about things like certain villains. It's on the ground, on Earth, and then when it comes to cosmic foes and stuff like that, that's when he was just like, oh, I need the Avengers. And
you're saying Justice League's like Fast and Furious, their family.
The article that's here, like under allies, they give it to Cyborg, but it says the Avengers may be Earth's mightiest heroes in their own universe, but DC's Justice League is a pretty difficult super team to measure up to.
Yeah,
especially with characters like Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, ready to back Cyborg up at a moment's notice.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, okay. He got man.
Iron Man would be pretty hard pressed to win in this manner. Again, because the Avengers are all over the place. Of course, the Avengers would still give the Justice League a run for their money. The DC team almost always has the more powerful lineup. Yeah. So they're giving the advantage to Cyborg.
All right, so, let's jump all the way to tech. Here. This was the one area that I had thought I had given this to Cyborg until I watched a particular video. Okay. And it's the fact that my thinking was if Cyborg can interfere with Tony's tech, okay, which we know Cyborg can get into any tech in the universe, okay, within the DC universe, okay. But the one that, and I kept thinking, all he's got to do is invade Tony's armor, and he's down. That's it. He's down and out. But what they pointed out in this one video I was watching, and I didn't think about this, every time that Cyborg has to interact with other tech, he actually has to connect to it.
Yeah.
So
he's not fighting Tony, he's fighting Jarvis or whatever AI that he has at the time.
The thing is, he would have to physically connect to Tony. Is he going to be able to get close enough to Tony to do that? I don't think.
You mean like pulling R2D2 with a little?
Yes, exactly.
Well, how quickly can he do it? Like if he punches him, would he be able to interface with him long enough?
No, it's like Steven just said. It's almost like R2D2.
He has to find some kind of like USB port and get
That's
it.
right. Exactly. You have to get a USB port.
And plug in. That's exactly what he's got to do. And I kept thinking, I got to give this to Cyborg till I saw that video. And I'm like, there is no way Tony's going to let him get close enough to him long enough that he'll be able to connect with him. Yeah.
I disagree, Mike. I disagree with them. Why not?
Oh, this is so weird.
No, if all you have to do is really.
No, I mean, I'm the DC guy. And I'm defending Iron Man, and you're the Marvel guy, and you're defending Cyborg. This is so freaking weird, man.
It's one of those things where, so give it that scenario. He has to be able to connect with the suit in order for him to, wirelessly infiltrate his AI and everything in that nature. Because you got to think about it. Jarvis is remote, so he don't necessarily have to touch the suit. Just go towards the satellite is. Tony ain't gonna outfly Cyborg to wherever his satellite is in the
not if he can use a boom tube and get there in an instant.
He can use a boom tube to get there. He can disrupt his system, remotely from wherever. And that's just speaking candidly on that particular point. But let's just go back to the fact of if they can go head to head when it comes down to like the tech wise, do you really think that Tony is going to be able to withstand a direct blast from Cyborg's sonic cannon?
I don't know.
The Unibeam versus sonic cannon, point blank range. Who do you think is going to last longer? I don't know. Maybe Iron Man will, because it depends on how much power he actually have in it.
I think Iron Man will get hit once, and then he'll go back, he'll watch the films, he'll regroup, and he'll come up with something.
He's going to do the Batman.
Make sure that doesn't happen again.
Right. If they do a Dragon Ball Z style energy blast, who do you think that's going to basically? I should have worn my Dragon Ball Z shirt. It had the two energy blasts.
Super Saiyan Iron Man.
Very similar to Batman. Cyborg's going to win the first round, and then Iron Man's going to come back with a counter.
That's it.
Counter attack.
And if he let him go, why would he let him go? Why would you? Oh, wait a minute. Hey, you beat me. Just hold on. Wait a minute. Let me regroup. Give me about a week, and then just like how they did in Wakanda Forever, let me give you about a week, and I'm gonna come back with a suit, and I'm gonna fight.
This was a battle to the death. Well, I said this was a battle to the death.
This is true.
No.
I think
even if he did shoot like a boom cannon, I mean, Cyborg can like literally send out rockets. I mean, I guess Tony can send out rockets too. But it's just like, all right, well, you done? You done? I got more. I got feet rockets. I can turn into a tank if I feel.
He's not. Wait a minute. Cyborg's not.
Don't forget, in the 70s, Iron Man had roller skates.
He did. Yeah. Oh yeah, he had the jump. Was it? I thought it was.
And it goes to Iron Man because of the roller skates. I love it.
Yeah, he has to go fast. Air friction. Yeah,
quote unquote. He skated through that one.
I didn't know we were going into roller derby here.
That's what's up. He had the four wheels or the inline.
Yeah, I think it was the four wheels.
70s
inline back then.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Darren, we're old guys. Remember?
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, this was the 70s.
There were no inlines back then.
At least he didn't have go-go boots. At least he didn't have. I mean, if you look at
that's what Punisher.
Those red thigh highs.
Yeah, those.
And he's styling too. It kind of brings me to like Alita Battle Angel. Kind of reminds me of that kind of a battle and stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right, so I don't even know where we're at.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta think about heading out anyway. If you guys want to continue this, but I'll give you another 5 minutes before I got to go pick up my daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we got to wrap up anyway.
Yeah, we need to wrap up. So
I just want to bring one thing up too.
Go ahead.
As fun as this is, when you first proposed this, Michael, I was thinking that a more fair fight, and maybe this is for another future episode. Is Cyborg, as he's the clear winner of this one. It seems like, as if we're heading down the same path. I think we should put the winner against somebody more his speed, and I think he should go up against Marvel's Deathlock. which is kind of like his Marvel counterpart.
Oh yes,
I like that.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
All right, Brian, down the gauntlet here.
Right.
I like that. Okay, all right. Sounds like the makings of another Versus episode. Okay.
All right.
So we're giving this.
You propose it, and I'm like, I think it would be more fair to put him up against Deathlock. He's more like his Marvel compatriot. His Marvel.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Deathlock's not a character I think about too often.
Deathlock's not a very popular character. If you
he's not.
If you want to talk like A, B list characters, he's more like an E or an F. He's like
right. Yeah. Well, I remember buying a couple of Deathlock.
Oh, me too. Me too.
He was a pretty cool character.
Yeah. Yep.
Ooh. Okay, that's a good deep dive. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so we're giving it to Cyborg. Is that?
I think that's the way it's been going. And even like I said, this article that I found gave the advantage to Cyborg. So
I'm shocked because the videos I watched all gave it to Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I guess I should have done more research.
I vote. I vote Iron Man personally.
I would vote Iron Man just because he's my favorite. I mean,
I'm giving it to Cyborg in this instance.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta side with Theron though.
Theron brought up
facts. I think it actually advantaged Cyborg.
I'm not convinced, but good try.
All right, so we say it was actually a tie.
All right.
Okay. That's what we do. I mean, that is what Stan Lee would have said from day one. You never reveal exactly who could defeat who, because this way, all of us nerds argue this for years and years to come.
Oh yeah.
So I guess it is a tie. I mean, I think if you take away the boom tubes from Cyborg, I think Iron Man is actually the clear winner.
That just sounded wrong. You gotta take away his boom tubes.
That's what they are. I don't know.
Once again, everybody, Steven just brought in a second reference that makes this an E episode.
So, I think we'll go with a draw for now. But I actually over the last week with my research was actually leaning towards Iron Man, and that is not where I started this whole thing at. I was very adamant that Cyborg would win this battle, and then the more I looked into this, I was like, shoot, I guess Iron Man's got it. So, we'll give it a tie for now, but I do love the idea of Deathlock. We'll have to do some research on Deathlock.
That's next.
And then I say we all reconvene for another Versus episode.
Deathlock, Cyborg, and Deathlock. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
And just so you know, for that episode, I'll still say Iron Man wins. I'm just kidding.
Iron Man won't be a part of it, Steven.
Iron Man will be refereeing.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, awesome. All right, everybody. Well, hey, we got to wrap up here, but thank you so much for joining us here on the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. It has been great. Theron, thank you so much for joining us. Brian, awesome always to have you. For those who may not know, I thought about this before, but sometimes if you watch our show in the chats, you'll see Brian in the chats, and sometimes he plays what we call our Tito. Tito is kind of, but please listen to Three Geeky Dads.
Thank you.
It's a fabulous podcast. It is actually one of my top 5. So anyway, well, with that, Mike, anything else we need to do a shout out for?
Just a real quick reminder, please, if you've made it this far, like and subscribe to us on Facebook and on YouTube. That will help get the algorithm up on YouTube. We're trying to build that up. We got a few new subscribers this week, too. I was very happy about that.
Yeah.
If you would. And please like the individual videos, too, because that also helps the algorithm go up, and more and more people will get to see it.
Smash all those like buttons.
That's right. Smash those like, just like the Hulk. Smash. All right. That's all I got, Steven.
All right. No, that's all I got, too. So great show today, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for being on. We always have a great time with you guys, and I'm sure we will see you both in the near future. So with that said, over and out, and booyah! Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the force be with you.